We should have talked about this last week, but I honestly forgot. I had such great topics. But I just released a new book called 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires. And what I wanted you to know is you actually are our first conversation, the truck in the toolbox, is chapter 9. So thank you very much for being a part of the book.
Awesome, man. That's fantastic. Thank you. I didn't even know. I had no idea.
Yeah. So what happened here, folks, is I spent, God, this is now a year in the making. About 11 months ago, I tried to figure out, I looked at all my interviews and I created a storyboard of 15 unique conversations. And the reason the truck in the toolbox is in there is because you are, by definition, the entrepreneur, right? We've talked about many times how you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and saw it completely different than me. We've had other conversations about the American dream's not dead. So yeah, that conversation is the meat of chapter 9. And I guess I'll talk about it a little bit here.
That's awesome, man. Does that mean I peaked?
No. It's the next level, man. It's the next level.
That's just the beginning. Okay.
You're at a base camp. Enjoy it. So all of my investors have, everybody has the thing, but I summarized our conversation. There's a thing called advice. Every chapter has advice. And what I said for you is the American dream is alive and well. Go get yours. Would you say that's
Absolutely.
Fair? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do I want to kind of highlight? It was such a great conversation.
Yeah. I mean, that's me in a nutshell. So, my message to everybody and what I do every day is, you can do whatever it is you want to do within reason. Everybody has their limits, right? I mean, I'm not going to go play quarterback for, New England, which they, could not handle Brady last night, but no, it was close.
It was close.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. But I mean, we all have our limits, physically, mentally, emotionally, all those types of things. So within your limits physically, there's nothing you can't do if you apply yourself, educate yourself. If you're not happy where you are in your life, or even if you are, you can always make a change. You can always change your position. You can't really see me fully, but there was a time in my life back in 2004 when I was 80 pounds overweight. I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day my entire life. I grew up smoking. That was just the family that I grew up in. Everybody smoked, and in the military, a lot of people smoke. So that's just kind of, 2004, I decided that's it. I'm done. I quit smoking and lost weight at the same time.
Wow.
It usually goes the other way around.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not the usual way. You quit smoking and gain weight because you replace it with popsicles or candy.
Well,
and
I knew that. And I was already overweight and I had a neighbor and he was huge. I mean, he was, 500-600 pounds and, very unhealthy. And I normally have a 32, 33 inch waist. That's what I carry. And, I'm 6'1", 170 pounds. So I'm long and lanky, I'm lean, but I had gotten to the point I can carry a lot of weight and make it look good, or it looks okay. I don't look huge. And I'd gotten up to, 240 pounds. And I was busting out of 38s, getting ready to go into 40s. And I remember looking at my neighbor next door and I wanted to quit smoking. And I was like, man, if I don't do something, that's my next step. That's where I'm headed. And if I quit smoking, I don't want to put on a bunch of weight. So I said, okay, I'm going to quit and lose weight at the same time.
Wow.
I just, boom, put my mind to it and focused. And just like every other business that I did, going back to, the first thing as a kid, when I learned, hey, if I want money, if I want something, I need money. And if I want money, go do something to earn it, figure out a way.
Yeah.
What do I need? What can I do? How can I? Not, I can't, I don't have, I don't know. Find out the answer. Resourcefulness is the number one thing that a lot of people miss. You have to be resourceful. Don't just ask somebody, like I'll get people that reach out on my Instagram or whatever, what's your website or how can I, dude, it's right up in the top where my, where my name, you know what I mean? It's like people they just don't want to put the effort in and be resourceful. So the key is you got to be relentlessly resourceful. You got to look for the answer, find an answer, find a way. There's always a way to get where you want to be and make your dreams come true, whatever that is. There is a way. You just got to ask the right questions differently. How can I, where can I, what do I need? Not, I can't, I don't, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So I guess I'll summarize a couple of things about chapter 9. So I kind of right out of the gate, I list a bunch of lessons that I believe are priceless. And for your chapter, one is no college education is not required. Work hard, network, be open to learning. big company is not required. Peace of mind and time flexibility. Finding or creating value. Commercial value creation, not much different than residential. Those are kind of the early takeaways I had from our conversation. Any of those hit you particularly hard?
Well, what I'll speak to for everybody is, for people that don't know my story, I didn't go to college. I didn't have, a huge pedigree, this big corporate background. Nobody in my family were entrepreneurs. They weren't uberly successful. My dad was career military. My mom was a career, Blue Cross Blue Shield employee. So you don't need those things. And it's really interesting. I just purchased a book the other day that actually studies this. So it's a book called View from the Top by Harvey Lindsay, PhD. And this book is all about, exactly what you don't need. And it studied, hundreds of CEOs and top earners all over the world doing all kinds of different things. And what it boiled down to is it didn't matter what school they went to. It didn't matter what their upbringing was. And, all of those things you listed, none of it made a difference. It was the individual, and their habits and their discipline and, pouring into themselves and making the most of the situations they came from and things like that.
Yeah. I'm still taken aback by you quit smoking and lost weight at the same time. Because that is an example of mental discipline that most people simply don't have.
It's a matter of making up your mind what it is you really want. That's the biggest thing that people are afraid to do. Once you decide what it is you want and you really want it, you'll make it happen. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. It's a matter of how bad do you want it? Like people all say all the time, I want to be rich. Well, do you really?
Yeah.
I mean, do you really? Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, then are you willing to do whatever it takes morally, legally, ethically to put yourself in a position to become wealthy? Meaning you have to sacrifice, all of everything else you're doing right now and totally immerse yourself, dedicate yourself to whatever it is that you want to do or need to do in order to get there. We talked about Grant Cardone the other day, and funny, he put out a video today about, advice for 50-year-olds. Remember our last video? It's like, did he watch our video?
Yeah, exactly.
He probably did. And he told the story a little bit, and he talked about, his last 12 to 14 years, he's built, his real estate, holdings. He said, but it all started with immersing myself and educating myself, getting the information about.
He may have watched it. Yeah.
So many people want the answer today. Like I said, people will reach out to me and I'll say, hey, it's on my website. It's on my YouTube channel. What's your website address? Like, dude, it's everything. All of my social media, it all has it there. Go look.
Yeah.
Go find the answer.
I get that a lot.
Do you think Grant Cardone asked somebody, how do you do real estate? No, he went and learned,
Yeah, he spent years. Yeah, it's amazing. The other thing that, back to your point about, do you really want to get wealthy? Are you willing to do the work? All of that. There's something I'm working on right now with a couple of other experts. And basically, frankly, we are trying to rebrand house hacking. House hacking, I think, has a for some people, almost a negative connotation. Oh, house hacking. Ooh, I can't do that. So I'm trying to turn it into something that I call the cheat code to wealth. So let me walk you through it, because I think it points to how bad do you really want it. So the cheat code to wealth challenges a 40-year-old to list and sell their home, the one that they live in, right? So if you do that, you live there for 2 or 5 years, you can take up to $250K single or $500K married tax-free, right? Most people are going to walk away from that transaction with a lot of cash. They're going to be more liquid than they've ever been before. And then what I want to know is what their mortgage payment is. Step 2 of this exercise is go buy a fourplex in your desired neighborhood. Put 5% down, because you can get a 95% loan these days on fourplex residential, i.e. you keep a lot of cash. And then what I want you to do is I want you to rent the other 3 units out. And then I want to calculate, are you being paid to live there? How much is your housing cost fallen? And the reason I've done this, and I've already had 5 or 6 people in my group answer it. 2 things happen. One is they've gotten between $75,000 and $120,000 cash left after buying the fourplex, which they can use to buy more cash flow real estate. And 2, they have lowered their monthly nut for housing, which is the biggest expense for most people, between $1,800 and $2,900. Folks, that allows you to save, call it $2,500 a month. That's 30 grand a year, which you can again use as the income snowball to keep going. So how bad do you want it? Are you willing to sell your home, live in a fourplex for a couple of years, go 4, 3, 2, 1 on the house hacking road. I mean, how bad do you want it? Back to your question. How bad do you want it?
Well, and that's one way. But
Yeah, it's one way.
What if you can't move? What if you need your house, you have kids, you need a yard, all that? So then what do you do? Well, you can take the equity out of your house tax free. Right now it's a great time. Values are higher than they've ever been. Interest rates are lower than ever been. So keep your house, refinance, pull the equity out, and then go use that to invest instead of buying the boat, putting an addition, getting a new kitchen. That's what people do. They refinance and they blow it on retail stuff that doesn't produce. So refinance your house, use that to go buy income producing property. You can buy a fourplex and rent the whole thing out.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't pay for the house you live in now, or learn how to do real estate. Don't leverage your house. Pay your house off if you want to, and you don't want to have leverage and all that. Learn how to raise money to go buy real estate deals, commercial, residential, fourplex, eightplex, 30 units, whatever it is. Then you don't have any of your money at stake. Then you'll have cash flow and you'll have depreciation. You'll have all those things. It'll still pay for your house. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. Or go start a business that pays for everything that you want to pay for, and then invest that into real estate like I did. I didn't know anything, didn't have anything. What did I do? I started a business. I said, hey, I have two hands. I'm willing to work hard.
Yeah.
Michael, I'll do whatever you need, man. You want a door lock replaced? You want me to paint your window sill? $100. I don't care. I would do anything.
Yeah.
Because why? I wanted it. And I knew what I wanted, and I knew how to get there by doing things that other people didn't want to do, that added value and created opportunity for the community around me. And I filled that gap and then built a company off of that, doing nothing but little jobs, man. I mean, for the first 3 or 4 or 5 years of my company, I mean, I don't think we did anything more than probably $5,000 was our largest job.
That's amazing. Yeah. So folks, if you want to hear about it, chapter 9, this awesome new book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires. Again, I want to thank you for being a part of it. That conversation, that our first conversation changed my life. And that's why I'm so happy you agreed to be a weekly guest. So Greg, how can people find you and be part of your world?
GregDickerson.com. That's where my website is. Everybody tunes in, including Grant Cardone, and go.
Apparently.
Because he repeats what we said.
He did. Yeah. I'm going to go watch that. That's awesome. So, hey, Grant, how you doing, buddy? Let's talk someday. Anyways, Greg, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week.
Yeah, you too.